Yes, I am still here. I've been busy. I've been really busy. But we got some squash. That's a big one there. I think that's a buttercup, butternut. I forget which. And of course, yellow squashies and some red tomatoes. But in here, just like always, I have things growing. The peppers that were here and the basil that was here. This had peppers in it. I pulled the peppers out and transplanted them. The pepper plants, they're in pots out there on the other deck. I've got this deck on this side of the house, and then on the other side of the house we have another deck. These are, the shells from the dried up okra that I've been peeling apart and getting the seeds out of. And then here you can see some of the okra that I'm letting dry. When the okra gets too big, it gets too woody. You can't really cook it and eat it very well. So I just set them aside and let them, I just let them dry. And then down at the bottom down there, you can see a bunch of seeds. I've been getting seeds out of these and just putting them down there. And I've got a lot of okras, and I want to get a ton of okra seeds. This is a little cabbage thingy from where we cut it off a cabbage, and I stuck it down in here, and apparently it's rooted and started making more leaves off of it. And I'm hoping this hangs in there. I will probably be clipping off the bigger leaves and throwing them in my salad or on my sandwich, one or the other. The pineapple top, it's not dying. I did trim back the bad parts when I put it in here, but it's hanging in there. I'll water it. It's in the sunshine. The same with this one. Of course, I didn't trim back the bad parts on this one. And there are some onions that I stuck down in there to grow. These are little flowers, and they're a little wilty. I need to water them. And there's some strawberry plants growing in there. They're taking a long time. And yes, this is a 2-year tomato plant that I've had in here. And if you remember in some other videos, I had several of these, and they were growing up the wall. Now, I've trimmed them back, and I've taken, like right here where you can see where it's bent, because one of these long pieces grew out here, and it got heavy and it bent. And what I do is I'll take that portion, I'll cut it where it bent, and then I'll put that in some water or some dirt or whatever, and it will root and take off and be a whole another plant. And that was the purpose of the 2-year tomato plant. If you notice, they're always blooming. They're always blooming. And they do. This one's a cherry tomato. Makes little cherry tomatoes. And we have had cherry tomatoes in here. And down in the bottom, you see some rice in there. We had made some rice, and when we rinsed the rice out and got what they call the rice rinse water out, I poured it in here, and of course it did have some rice with it, so it went down in there. But rice is good for the soil. A lot of people don't know that. The rice is good for the soil. And the same with this one. This one here is another. I think this one came from a cutting off of that 2-year plant and was stuck in here, and it's grown off and on. You can see the bottom here, and there's some rice in there from where I watered it with the rice water, the rice rinse water. And these tomato plants, I'm gonna transfer, even though we're getting a little bit later in the year, we still have a lot of good weather. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to transfer these out into planters on the other deck. And I'll take you over there and show you. To kind of get an idea of how big this thing is, look at that. That thing is huge. And that's only one of them I got out of the garden. I got several more out there. And letting some of these things get big and grow. I like them when they're smaller because they're more tender. The bigger ones, when they get real big, a lot of times the outside gets tough. And I'll just take a peeler and peel it like I would an onion or a potato, and slice up and cook the inside. If it's got any seeds in it, I will definitely take those seeds out and set them aside and see if I can use them for next year. But as you can see, I'm always saving seeds. All kinds of seeds. Just seeds, seeds, seeds. Most of my seeds are seeds from like heirloom tomatoes that we've grown and or gotten from other people. And these are all tomato seeds here. Looks kind of bad though, doesn't it? But they're all tomato seeds. And I've got tons of different types of seeds. And I always tell people, everybody I see, save your seeds. No matter where you get them, no matter whether you get some at the store, always try to get heirloom type seeds. But I always tell everybody, collect your seeds. Save your medicine bottles like this and use them as seed storage. Wash them out, of course. I've got some asparagus here I need to put in the ground. Other little odds and ends like strawberries, plum seeds, all kinds of seeds. Just save them all. Save them all. And it's not quite fall, but it will be soon. See, I've been saving those medicine containers. Okay, I'm on the other side of the house, and this is the view from that side of the house. A beautiful view. That's facing west, and we have the most beautiful sunsets here. You can hear the birds. There's my Airstream camper and pickup. I gotta fix both of those. I'll get that thing moved and get it moved before long. We got some strawberries growing down there. And here's the basil plants that we had in the house. And I'm putting, like I put one basil plant in each one of these pots. And the pepper plants that we had in there, this here is one type of pepper plants, and these are the cayenne long thin peppers. Of course, the cat hears me and has to come up here. This is Leo. Leo was sick for a while, but he's doing much better now. Definitely wants attention. Leo wants attention. I'm not going to love on you. I don't want cat hair all over me. Is that a tick? I think you got a tick on your ear. Maybe? I don't know. Oh, come on. I gave Leo food and water. He ate part of it. He's got his appetite back. I don't know what his problem was, but he would meander around like he was drunk. Couldn't walk straight. Another cat would come up and love on him. He'd fall over. He had no appetite. And he was losing weight. But he looks like he's gained some weight back. And he's got an appetite again. And he's drinking water. Where before all he wanted to do was just hide in a safe, cool place. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Love on that chair. Just don't love on me. I don't want cat fur on me. Leo is a boy. He's been fixed, though. Yep, Leo's a boy. Okay. But in this pot here, had a little leaf fall off. But you can see I got little potato tops coming up. I put, I think, 5 potatoes in here. They were the yellow, buttery type of soft potato, and I love those things. But anyway, they're in here, and I'm gonna see if they'll grow. And I'll put a basil plant in each one of these to kind of deter any kind of other, pests that might want to come around. I'm gonna end up putting some of those tomato plants in here with this basil plant. And this one, I put a basil plant in the middle. And then the rest of these are the Jimmy Nardello Italian peppers. And they're kind of a longer. We got those from Baker Creek. They're heirloom seeds. So we got heirloom seeds from Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. And that's what we got growing in here. And you can see it's already a couple of little peppers on here. We've had these in the house, and apparently they got pollinated by something in the house. So I brought them out, put them out here. They love heat and sunshine, so I figured that'd be good for them to be outside. And being in these planters like to dry up a little quick, so I have to pay special attention to these to make sure I keep the soil moist. I do have that planter upside down. I'll be putting dirt in that, and I've got plenty of potting soil there. So I'll just find some organic material, put in the bottom, mix with the potting soil, and I'm going to end up putting tomatoes in there. The tomatoes I said I was going to transplant. There's 2 types, so I'll put one type in here, and then the other type in here with a basil plant. Don't love on me. I don't want a cat hair on me. Leo loves attention. Yeah, he loves attention more than he likes food. Leo loves attention. I gotta do some work to this deck. And over here, this was on the other side. It was on the other one. Come on, Leo, stop. Come on, move out of the way. Move on. You want me to drop you off the deck? You can go fly. I'd never do that to Leo. Leo's a good cat. Just annoying. You're annoying. Leo's got food and water around the corner over there, but he wants my attention. He wants some lovin's. And I don't feel like giving Leo lovin's. Move. God. Anyway. This is a beet plant. And we did have more beets in this. It was on the other side. And the chickens kept coming up and eating the leaves down. And this is the only beet plant left in this little container. Now this one's gone. It's just shot. But that's the only one left. And I'm hoping this thing did have leaves like 2, like a 1.5 feet tall. But the chickens just love beet leaves for some reason. There's my garden. You can see how tall the okra is out there. And I've got tomatoes all in there I need to get. I got squash all in there I need to get. A lot of okra that's just taken off and grown too much. Leo, get off my leg. See how tall the okra is? Just looks like a jungle out there. That's a jungle of food. It's a jungle of food. Next year, my garden's going to be like 5 times that big, maybe 6 times that big. Leo, gosh. I know you feel better, but leave me alone. I don't want you loving all over me and putting cat hair on my leg. Stop. Gosh, you're annoying. Leo just doesn't get enough loving, I guess. Well, how about you go find another cat to love on? Leave me alone. I know Nagini don't like you because you're annoying. And the other two cats aren't around no more. I don't know where the heck they are. They moved on. So, anyway. Oh my gosh. Let me get back over here. Okay, run with me. So, I'll be getting this done. If I sit down here to make a video, Leo's going to be all over me. Gosh. Alright, I'll talk to you later.